Hello, my name is Robert Kiyosaki. I'm the author of the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and also the creator of the board game Cashflow. So I want to thank you for your interest in the board game Cashflow as well as this new electronic version of it. When I am asked why did I create this board game, I created it simply because I wanted to be able to find a way of teaching people the same important financial literacy and financial intelligence lessons my rich dad taught me. I had to find a way of compressing it, making it short, making it fun, to compress
Okay.
basically 30 years of education into one game board. So I'd
Sorry,
like to
had my sound off.
explain why it was created and also the two main lessons you can learn from this game. Lesson number one is you'll learn how to be an investor. Today, all of us need to learn how to invest, especially with these flaky 401k and these risky mutual funds and the stock market going up and down. We all need to learn how to become investors. On the board game Cash Flow, you will learn what very few people learn. You will learn about the four different levels of investor. Level number one is a small deal. And that's where most people should start at. As a little boy, I started investing in small real estate and small stock deals. Level two is the big deal. As you get more money and become more sophisticated as an investor in real life and on this board game, you do go to level two, which is big deals. The third level is a level that the rich invest in. This is called the fast track. The 1933 Securities Exchange Act defined that only the people who are rich were allowed to invest on the fast track. You had to be a millionaire. And the fourth level is Cashflow 202, which uses the same game board to play that game. Cashflow 202 is what the sophisticated investors use. It's called technical trading, how to use insurance when you invest, how to make money when the market goes up and the market goes down. So those are the four basic lessons about investing you will learn by playing this game. Four lessons that most people never even know exist. Four levels of investing that most people have never heard about. So by playing this game, you will learn how to be an investor, you'll be introduced to the really complete world, the complete whole world of investing. That's one of the most important things you'll learn from this game. The second thing you will learn is you will learn how to use an income statement and balance sheet. In other words, you will learn to understand what accountants know. This is income statement, this is the balance sheet. My rich dad said, if you want to be successful in the world of business and investing, you have to be financially literate. And financial literacy begins with this here. My rich dad also said that, his banker has never once asked him for his report card. His banker never asked him if he had good grades or what school he went to. He says, in the real world, once you leave school, what your banker asks you for is your financial statement. So the two important lessons you will learn from this game are, one is about the four levels of investing, and two, the levels of accounting. Given all the problems we've had in the stock market lately, you will realize that many of the analysts were giving bad financial advice because the analysts could not read a financial statement. They could not see the big companies actually lying and cheating the investing public. So that's why I created the board game Cash Flow. Two main lessons. One, the four levels of investing, and two, the importance of financial literacy. Cash Flow is the only game that teaches you both lessons in one game. That's the power of the game. So my rich dad taught me, and that's why I'm excited about you taking a look at this game for yourselves. Hello, my name is.
And the first thing you need to do is actually to choose your dream.
People say, well, why is choosing your dream the first step? Because it's the reason you want to play this game. You see, I know so many people who don't go for their dreams simply because they say, oh, I don't have the money, or they think they can't afford it, or they don't have the education. One of the reasons for playing this game over and over and over again is, number one, to open up your mind and then give you new ways of thinking, the fundamental basic education so that you can invest wisely regardless of how much money you have, and then have the money to buy your dreams. And so dreams are very, very important. In other words, why live life if you don't have your dreams? So the very first step is choose your dream. That's a very important first step because that's where you always start with the end in mind. You always start with your dream and work backwards. That's what your first step is. Choose your dream. Hello, my name is Robert.
Very important aspect is to choose your dream. And we'll go through that shortly. So I'm going to get him Robert to explain the 2 tracks.
Before getting into the details of the board game cash flow, I'd like to explain some of the bit larger features of it. You may notice that there's 2 tracks here. The reason there's 2 tracks is my rich dad said in real life there are 2 tracks. For example, when my poor dad said to me, go to school so I can get a job, work hard, buy a house, save money, my poor dad was basically sentencing me or saying to get into what's called the rat race of life. And this is where I would say 94% of the population spends their life. When you say to a child, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or what do you want to, go to school and get good grades and get a job? That's where most people wind up in the rat race. They get up, go to work, get up, go to work, get up and go to work, round and around and around. And given the state of the economy and the different types of investment plans today, most people, not most, but many people will never ever get out of this rat race. They'll get in here and die here. So my poor dad said to go, his advice was basically go into the rat race. My rich dad said, go into the fast track. So this is where the rich invest, this is how the rich operate from. So what is found on the rat race here are things like paychecks. You get downsized. As you know, we have very little control over job security today. There's also charity and things like this. The object of the game is to be able to get out of the rat race and onto the fast track. And the way you get onto the fast track is proving you're a good investor and you have a high financial IQ, which requires the financial statement. And that's why the game was created in this way with 2 tracks. This is the track of my poor dad. This is the track of my rich dad. I'm often asked the question, what is the difference between cash flow?
Oh dear. Okay, so next, I'll take that down now. Sorry, got myself a slightly different system this week. I'm confusing myself a little bit. So what we're going to start with is we're going to be playing a hot seat multiplayer. And I'm going to go with 2 hot seat players because it's me and Matthew, unless anyone wants to play. If you want to play, we're probably looking for players for the next game. If we may have one tonight, depends on how quick the game is. Sometimes they go really quick, sometimes they go really slow. So the first thing we do is we choose our dream. So you've got Helicity and the Swiss Alps, Protein Box Seat, South Sea Island Adventure, Fantasy, Ancient Asian Cities, African Photo Safari, Save the Ocean Mammals, Yacht Racing, A Gift of Faith, Cruise the Mediterranean Sea, Capitalist Peace Corps. My mouse is really not working as well as I would like it to tonight. Cairns Film Festivals, Off Around the World, Beer Jet Setter, 7 Wonders of the World, Kids Library, Park Named After You, or a Mini Farm in the City. I'm going to go with Stock Market for Kids because that's what I tend to do. And it looks like I've gotten my favourite character profile. Matthew likes to do. You happy with being a jet setter still, Matthew?
Okay.
Oh, Matthew's a doctor. One of my worst, the ones I think is the worst one to get. Anyway, computer players' turn. And the first thing the computer players have done, they've all reduced their retail debt. We seem to have no sound at all. I'm not sure what it's done now. You should be able to hear something. I'm not sure why I'm not hearing it. That's very strange. Anyway, house for sale, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, low down payment to pick up this 3-2 house. Owners sell unexpectedly, moving out of town. Right person will do well. 40% ROI, may sell for 65 to 135,000. Cost is 50,000. Mortgage is 47,000. Down payment 3,000, and the cash flow is 100. So there's a reasonable amount of capital gains available, as well as the reasonable cash flow. And he's offering it to you, Matthew. He's wanting to sell the card to you for $900. You've got 3,000 on hand.
Yeah, sure.
You can actually do it. You've got exactly that.
Well, 50.
Yeah.
Was a good buy.
Well, there you go. Now it's decided to give me some sound. I must have done something in the settings. So the idea of the game is the first step is to get your passive income higher than your total expenses. And you do that by buying businesses and the like. Now, I've done something here. I don't want that. I don't know. Let's see if that helps. Anyway, big deal or small deal, Matthew?
Oh,
Okay for you, drug company.
Why do you
long-time
say that investing isn't risky?
maker of medicine?
Well,
Today,
there's
price is
always
$30.
risk when you invest, but it doesn't mean you have to be risky. You don't have to be a risky investor. When you drive your car, there is risk, right?
Well, yeah, but
But you don't have to be a risky driver. If you take a few lessons, practice, take it slow, you'll be a very good investor. There's always risk, but you won't be risky.
oh, I see.
Okay, so I've landed on charity. And I'm going to flick over to my video and let you have a listen to Robert talking charity.
I'd like to discuss the importance of charity. Charity was very important to my rich dad. My poor dad always said, I'll give money when I have money. And what my rich dad said, the reason your dad doesn't have money is because he doesn't give. In other words, my rich dad believed in the law of reciprocity. You can call it, Newton's law, give and you shall receive, or for every action, equal and opposite reaction. Or the Asians say karma, give what you want. So my rich dad explained to me, if you wanted a smile, the best way to get a smile is to first give one. He also said, if you wanted a punch in the mouth, the best way is to give one first also. So he said, if you want money, give money. Today, I hear many people saying, well, I don't give money, I give my time. The problem with that thinking is you get back what you give. If you give time, you get back time. So charity is very important if you want to get rich and get on to the fast track. You need to give what you want. And if you want money, you need to give money. You need to first give, and then you can receive. That's why charity was so important to my rich dad. Charity was a very important part of my rich dad's financial and business plans.
Yep. Okay, so back to the game. So with that in mind, I am going to do charity. With charity in the game is basically you give 10%
Nicely
of your
done.
total income, and you get to use two dice for 3 goes. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pay off that retail debt, because that makes a huge difference when you're the janitor. You want to get rid of all of those excess unnecessary debt. You do want to be careful, though. Don't bother paying off the home loan, mortgage, and student loans. They don't have very good return on investment. Certificate of deposit, I don't want that one. So it's $5,000 down, only $20 a month. I need my money working a lot harder than that, and I don't have it anyway. Do you want a certificate of deposit, Matthew?
no.
That's the way to do it.
Oh, we do have some sound happening. Oh, look at that. Frank found a good deal. So it's an older 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house repossessed by government agency, ready to go with government financing and a tenant, borrowed from the bank. You must buy this. It's 132% ROI, which stands for return on investment. It may sell for 65 to 135,000. The cost is only 35,000. So it's well below the trading range. So it's, well, not trading range, what it sells for in the market, and the down payment's only 2,000. It's a really good deal. Would you like it, Matthew? You're being offered it for $350. You'll have to take out a loan for it, but you're still going to be better off. Well, we have to get a bit tricky on that one, won't we? Could have added to my. That went totally in the wrong place. Bank loans go into liabilities and bank payments go into expenses. I'm not sure. Oh no, I'm not sure what I was thinking. Had a bit of a
Nicely done.
So cost and down payment go to assets. Cash flow goes to income. And you need to order some of that. And then the mortgage goes into liability, which is the same place your home mortgage is as well. So yeah. Opportunity. My TCU, fast-growing seller of home electronics, headed for by 32-year-old Harvard grad. Today's price is $20 a share, and the trading range is 5 to 30, so it's up there. And there you go. The computer player thinks that stock market stocks are too volatile. Big or small deal, Matthew? You've got 1,700. So you can see what the cash on hand is there. My TCU, weak market leads to sagging share prices for this home electronics seller. And you may buy it. Shares at $10 a share. Trading range is 5 to 30. You want to get 100? So number of shares
Good
goes
job.
into assets, and the cost per share goes into assets. So you can always see that later to see how much you actually bought it for. And I get to use my 2 dice. I'm going for a small deal. I don't want that one, but I might see if anybody else does. Do you want to put a bid in on a widget company, Matthew?
May able to borrow money from my bank.
Oh yeah, you've got plenty of space to be able to borrow money.
No, I mean, is it able to?
Oh no, it's not going to have any cash flow. Like you could borrow money, but it wouldn't be worth it. Do you need to pass on it?
Okay.
Looks like everybody passing on the deal. That's okay.
My real estate broker says the value of the property will go up in value. What do you think?
Well, ask your real estate broker if they have a crystal ball. Always remember that your profit is made when you buy, not when you sell.
But I'm spending money in buying, so how does that work? Making a profit when I'm spending money?
Do you hope the investment will go up in value?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm spending money, I think.
Well, you should never expect the price of anything to go up in order to make a profit. A piece of real estate needs to be profitable when you buy it, the same as a stock needs to be paying a dividend when you buy it. Never expect the thing to go up in value. That's gambling.
Hey, Matthew, market rates have dropped. Interest rates have dropped on home loans to 5%. If you know other player owns a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, you may sell them for $50,000 more than you paid. So there's still a fair bit of movement you've got for both of them. So you bought, let's have a look. One cost you $50,000, although you got a mortgage of $33,000, but you'd only get $50,000 on that one. So that's not a bad deal. The $35,000 one, you could still make a bit more money on that. But it's up to you. Do you want to sell both your houses?
What's the selling for?
You'll end up with $100,000. Which will make it so you've got lots of room to move to buy a big deal.
Yeah, but if you sell for higher, can
Yeah, you can get about an extra $35,000 per house. It's not a bad deal. While Matthew's thinking about that one, we might have a listen to Robert talking about opportunity cards. Let's have a listen
So
to
let's
Robert.
get into some of the more details of actually playing the game. For example, you get on the rat race, you roll around, and you land on opportunity cards. When you land on the opportunity card, you have basically two choices. One is a small deal and one is a big deal. Small deals are investments of 5,000 and below, and big deals are 6,000 and above. The interesting thing about this game is games actually reflect people's behavior. I'll say that again because it's important. Games actually reflect people's behavior. Like I've seen savers just save, I've seen cheaters cheat. In the game, whatever is going on with you will come up in this game. When it comes to the small deal and big deal, oftentimes I'll see people playing this game, they have no money. Even though they have no money, they think they have to be the John Wayne of investing, and they'll take a big deal card even though they have no money. So the beauty of this game here is you get to see their behavior. Another beautiful thing, as I said, there's four levels of investing: small deals, big deals, fast track, and then Cashflow 202. The beauty of this game is you can get rich on small deals, big deals, fast track, and 202. It makes no difference. So anyway, the funny thing about this game is I meet these, generally men, they think they have to do a big deal card even though they have no money. And that's a reflection of the behavior.
It's a bit funny, really. People are fascinating. Yeah. Okay, so Matthew has decided that he's going to sell his houses. So he'll sell one. We're going to remove the cards from the balance sheet. So take it from the assets and from the liabilities and from the income. So it's a really good way to get your capital gains happening by selling real estate. And they were quite good ones that he had. And this is now going to allow him to actually go into big deals rather than just have a small deal. Go for a jog around the board. Angela wanted fishing rod. Okay, so you may join a direct distribution company, good products, low starting income, growth prospects for learners and leaders, no promises, and much opportunity. So let's have a listen to Robert on this one.
Another aspect of playing this game here is you may land on what's called the market card. When you go to the market card, you'll actually draw this. The significance of the market is that you're paying attention to the trends. It's like reading the newspapers, watching the television, and all this. The market is basically telling you market's going up or market's going down, who's buying what, and who's this. The market card on this board game is very important because if you're going to be a professional investor, you must pay attention to the market. And that's why the market card is here.
Frank's got scored and joins the DTU. Matthew's turn. Matt's turn. He likes to be called Matt sometimes. Oh, he likes to be called Matt. I tend to call him Matthew. I should probably call him Matt, shouldn't I? Although I don't want to be wiping my feet on him. Yeah, I could actually get a big deal and possibly end up selling it to Matthew. I don't think the other players have got meaning. So we've got a bit of a variety here of occupation for our players, which is always fun. I'm going to stick with small deals. My key for you, low interest rates lead to substantial share prices for this home electronics seller. It's a dreadful time for me to buy, but it's a great time for Matthew to sell. But let's have a
Nicely
listen
I'm often asked,
to
what should I invest in? Before I answer that question, I'd like to go back again to the basics of financial literacy or financial intelligence. This here is an income statement and balance sheet, also called a financial statement. My poor dad was a man who thought a high-paying job or a salary was everything in life. My rich dad, on the other hand, said the asset column was more important. So my rich dad trained me to become an investor in the assets. And what he taught me is there's three basic types of assets that you can invest in. The reason my wife and I could retire young and retire rich is we didn't have a job. Instead, we spent our lives developing assets over here. So these are the three assets that are available in the world of business today or investing. One is a business. Second is real estate. Third is paper. In my opinion, the reason there are so many people, the reason there's so few business owners is because of all the asset classes. This is the toughest one. It takes the most mental, emotional, and physical power to acquire. That's why guys like Bill Gates or Michael Dell, they built great big businesses. That's why they became so rich. Real estate is number two. In our real estate investment project, the product, the 6 steps to becoming a successful real estate investor. There's more to real estate than just buying it. There's managing it, financing it. So all those 6 steps are important. The third class is paper. In my opinion, and people will debate this, the reason the masses of people are in paper assets such as stocks, bonds, mutual funds, is because this is, of all the asset classes, this is the easiest one to get in, also the easiest one to get out of. It takes at least so-called financial training to acquire and manage. So right now, as you sit and look at this program right here, Rich Dad's Cash Flows game is designed to give you the fundamentals that you can make the choice for yourself, whether you want to acquire businesses, real estate, and paper. Many people say I'm a real estate person. That's inaccurate. I have businesses, real estate, and paper. And so each one all of them require some degree of financial education, financial literacy. Of all of them, though, this is the one that requires the least.
Okay, so Matthew, are you going to sell all your stocks?
So the highest price, isn't it?
Pretty much, yep.
Yeah, sure.
So Matthew just made $3,000 there. So he bought 100 shares before. I think you got them at $10 a share, didn't you?
Mm.
I should have looked at that earlier. Not that it matters.
Yeah, I did.
Hey, Oh, Matthew, Angela's offering you an opportunity for $750. It's 52% ROI for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom condo.
So,
Yep, you like that one? Okay. Matthew
Congratulations. That was a good deal.
do a lot of work to get himself out of the rat race because he's got such a high total expenses. Whereas my total expenses are only 920. So it's a significant difference. Recent merger strengthens market share for this leading company with good outlook. Today's price is 20. Sister-in-law is downsized and needs $5,000 to make house payments. She promises to pay $10,000 when she finds a new job. Who's trying to sell that one to you, Matthew? I'm assuming you're passing on that deal. Oh, I don't want to do it. Oh dear. That's a dreadful card, that one. I happen to know that the sister never pays the money back in the market. So if you're going to lend money to family, give it to them. Don't lend it. That's my opinion anyway. Big deal or small deal, Matthew?
big.
Limited partner wanted. Auto dealer wants to expand into leasing 2 to 3 year old cars. Needs capital as car maker, finance company is not interested. And he's going to buying that opportunity.
What's that called?
It is a very good card. I like the limited partner. 9 more like that, and you'll be free. Nice 3-2 house. Suddenly available due to estate closing. Well-maintained older property with existing tenants. 38% ROI. I'm going to go with that one. Actually, no, I'm not. It's a good deal, but I don't have the money. Would you like this one, Matthew?
That was 150, yeah.
Cashflow is 160. Down payment's 5,000. Cost is 65,000.
No, but you probably don't know. Bundle.
Okay. It's a good card.
Yeah, I'll think about
Good. You willing to put a bid in?
it. Yeah,
What would you like to bid?
500.
Oh, Matthew got it. Was a good deal. Normally I would have gone for that one, but I just didn't have the money. The one challenge with being the janitor, you've got to build up your money. But you can do that by finding deals for other people. Certificate of deposit. A leading bank offers a special certificate of deposit to its customers, guaranteed interest and redeemable after any holding period. Today's price is 4,000. Interest is 20. Do you like that one, Matthew?
Not really.
And I'm passing. Oh, sorry. I'm not quite sure why I'm so yawny tonight. was going to play the video with the doodads, wasn't I? I didn't say anything to you guys about that, though, did I? I'll wait till we have another doodad card. There'll be more. For us, today's price is $10 a share. You're offered $135,000 for your 3-2 rental, Matthew.
How much was it?
You paid $65 for it.
Thank you.
Look, you're going to take that off there. You get that as the liabilities, down the income. He's doing quite well in real estate this game. See? So he made about $85,000 on that one. And it's what the market does. It goes up and down. You just got to keep an eye on what's happening. Mikey, for you, electronics company, I'm not buying at $30 a share. I'll see what the lesson is.
Often asked, what should I invest in? Before I answer that question, I'd like to go up.
We'll listen to that one. Nope, not buying it. Pass.
Nicely done.
Start a company developing interesting ideas for software programs. So you start a company to produce and sell it. No profits during startup and long hours, no extra cost paid. And it's being offered to you for $450, Matthew. Oh, actually, no, that's a make a bid. You interested in that one?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
You get it for $450.
Done.
Pardon?
Done.
Yeah. Okay, for you, drug company, today's price $20 a share. Find a great deal. Company brought transferred managers 3-2 house. No current tenants. Has been on the market for 6 months. Just reduced. Borrow from the bank if you must, but buy this. 150% ROI. So your down payment's $2,000 and your cash flow is $250. A really good deal. Take that. Okay.
Probably the most exciting aspect of the rat race, and the reason so many people stay in the rat race all their lives, is this card here, doodads. Doodads are the things that make life worth living. For instance, having a nice car, nice clothes, nice watch, jewelry, going out to dinner, new stereo equipment. The problem with doodads is doodads keep most people broke. And this is why they buy doodads thinking they're assets, as it goes back to the financial statement here. In traditional accounting, you're allowed to count a doodad as an asset when it's really a liability. For example, let's say I buy a boat. Your banker will allow you to list your boat as an asset when it really is a liability. The reason people do that is because they've not been trained financially to actually read a financial statement. And many people think their house is an asset when it's really a liability. When your banker says to you your house is an asset, your banker's not really lying to you. He's just not saying whose asset it is. Your house is really your bank's asset. So that's why the doodad card is so important. The way my rich dad taught me to enjoy the good things of life, because I don't believe in living frugally, I don't believe in living below my means, I don't believe in saving money. I believe first in buying assets, and then my assets will buy my doodads. That's how the rich do it. The middle class, unfortunately, and the poor, they buy doodads first and never have any money left over to buy assets. For example, a number of years ago, I wanted a new Porsche. I had $50,000 in cash in the savings line here. Instead of buying the Porsche with the cash, I went out and bought a piece of real estate. That piece of real estate then gave me the cash flow via which I could buy my Porsche. So today I have my Porsche, which is still a liability because I have upkeep on it, like insurance and repairs and tires and gasoline. But I also still have my piece of real estate, and in many ways I still have my $50,000. So the way you can buy all the doodads you want, all the wonderful toys of life, all you have to do is first buy assets first, doodads second. That's the way you get rich and enjoy the good life. I personally do not believe in living below my means, being frugal, or denying me the wonderful things that life offers me. If you want a boat, have your boat, but buy an asset first, boat second. And that's the secret to getting rich and having all the doodads you want, so you can keep up with the Joneses and pass them with cash flow.
Cash or credit card? For your $20 of golf.
Sorry, touch this.
Sorry. And must pay attention. Grow fast fund, low interest rate drives market and fund to strong showing. So today's price is 30, trading range is 10 to 30. So it's not a good time to buy. It is a good time to sell. You're up at 65,000 for a 3-2 rental. Interesting. Frank actually sold his. I probably would have waited till. Oh, he paid back his car loan. Interesting. Make a bid. I don't have 5,000. Do you want to make a bid on this card, Matthew? The two-bedroom, one bathroom, 24% ROI, 5,000 cap down pay,
What's the tax cost?
100.
No. What? Yeah.
The instructions in actual board game encourages you to really only look at deals that are over 38% ROI. Oh, you got another limited partner, Matthew. Successful pizza chain extends into production of frozen pizzas for grocery stores. Owner needs capital for equipment. 48% ROI. May sell for 40 to 60,000. Cost is 20,000. Cash flow is 800. Did you like it, Matthew? Limited partner. Down payment's 20,000. It's a good deal.
What's the tax cost?
800.
Yes,
Very focused. Knowing the cash flow is very important. think I need to stop breathing so shallowly. Oh, I'm definitely going for that one.
I don't know if I would have bought that.
Yes, it's got a negative cash flow, but there's a lot of capital gains opportunities there. On you, today's price 30. Preferred stock, Too Big Power, high yield preferred shares of major domestic electric power company, dividends and prices fixed at a fair level by the state utility. Today's price is $1,200. The trading range is $1,200 to $1,200, so that doesn't change. And the interest is $10 per month. I'm passing on that deal. You passing on that deal, Matthew?
Hmm.
Too Big Power.
Yeah, I would have passed on that deal too.
You want to donate, Matthew? Matthew? Donate?
Yeah.
And I'm going for a small deal. Yep, I'm going to get some of that. So I'm going to go with 370.
Mhm.
Looking for the puppy. The puppy is on Matthew Black. He's technically not a puppy anymore. He's 12 months old now. Oh dear. Downsize. Have a listen.
I want to talk about another word, again, vocabulary, a new word that sort of crept into our society in the last 20 years. That word is downsizing. So question is, when you look at the cash flow quadrant, the employee, self-employed, or small business, business owner, investor, who does the word downsizing affect the most? And in this case, it's the employee, because the reason employees are afraid of the word downsizing is the truth of the matter is today there is no job security. And I go back to my poor dad always saying to me, go get a safe, secure job. Well, that was a good idea in his time, but not my time. So all of a sudden, all these people who did as they were told, they went to school, have good scholastic grades or good professional grades, they're a lot of afraid now because they're not in control. So downsizing affects these people. One of the beauties of the cash flow game is even though you're downsizing, you'll soon find on the game that even if you're downsized, you're not out of the game because you're still investing. So the purpose of the cash flow game is to train you with the business skills to become business owners and investors. So keep playing this game. Even if you're downsized, you'll find out that even as an investor, you're still in the game. So downsizing only affects employees who really have no control because their boss is in control. And it affects people with 401ks, again, because they have no control over their mutual funds. So the purpose of this game is to have you not be afraid of that new word called downsizing.
Ah dear. It's a big thing. Job security is not really a thing anymore. It hasn't been for a long time. Lots of people have side hustles. Side hustles are really important to have, actually. Did I, Matthew?
Yeah.
I actually have a couple side hustles, actually. Yeah, the other thing you'll notice too is the child expenses for every player profile is actually slightly different as well. So Matthew's got one of the most expensive ones. Opportunity. Trade war panic leads to record low share prices of this home electronics seller. Today's price is $1. One of my favourite cards. And even Angela agreed on that one. Look at that, she got 4,800. Good choice. Yep, good choice. I've actually been known to borrow money on that one, depending on when it comes to the game. Okay for you, Judd Company, Lounders. Everyone who owns OK for you cuts their shares owned in half. The reverse split, 1 for 2. Very sad when that happens. But it goes back up again. Pretty nice, Matthew.
Mm.
Go for a sprint around the board. See what Matthew's going to get in the market. Condo offer. You're offered $65,000 for a 2-1 rental. You have one of those. You paid $5,000 down payment, and the cost is $40,000. So you'd make about $15,000 on that one. No, 25. 25,000.
Only 25.
Yeah. It's only a 2-1 condo. It's not a 3-2-1. A 3-2
Yeah.
house. So we're from the assets and liabilities and from the income. Matthew just needs to find some really good deals. Be tricky. I'm going to go for a big deal. And I'm going to offer that one to Matthew. Okay, Matthew.
Careful with real estate. Tenants could damage your property.
So I'm
That's
selling this
correct,
card.
but that's
I'm
what you
gonna
have
offer
insurance
it
for. And don't worry about the tenants or what they could do. You need to focus on those rent checks coming in every month. If you have good property managers, that problem won't happen anyway.
I'm going to be putting it up at $2,000 as the minimum bid. Cost is $350. Down payment $50,000. Cash flow is $1,500. Okay, so how much would you like to bid, Matthew?
Hey.
Let's see if anyone in the auction again. It's $350.
Congratulations. That was a good deal.
Asset, liability to liabilities, and cash flow is up to income. Computer players down 5. Frank's down 5. So both computer players are down. Well, 2 of the computer players are down 5. you guys, Matthew? Charity? Want to donate?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
One of my side hustles, I make promotional material for businesses. This one's actually to help me to remember about my Sizzle H2 sticks. They're a triple berry and raspberry flavored stimulant-free oxygenated water infused with diatomic hydrogen that supports cellular health and helps to address oxidative stress by neutralizing free radicals and support for increased cellular energy. From rapid support for recovery after exercise. I love my Sizzle H2 stick. And generally it says to actually mix 1 little satchel in 500 ml of water. I tend to put it in like a litre. It's a little bit sweet otherwise. Love my water bottle. I love the H2 stick.
Good job.
Because I can have all of the details and show people the information on the product. So show them what the packet looks like and give them a little bit of a blurb. And I've even got the actual nutritional panel on here as well. And it's gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, not tested on animals. And I've even popped a QR code on there. And where is it? Get a link on here somewhere. Oh, yeah, there's a link that people can go to order it. So it means if I'm out somewhere and sharing with somebody about it, then they can just scan the QR code. It means I don't need to remember all the details. He goes for a jog around the board. Oh, he gets an opportunity. Big deal, Matthew. Duplex for sale. 60% ROI. Down pay 6,000, cash flow 300.
Extra 300.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Nicely done.
Oh, I have a baby. So you might remember, John, Matthew's babies were over 600. Mine are only 70. Ten acres overall land. Wonderful park-like setting with stream, 10 acres in undeveloped area. There are no roads, no utilities, no noise. 0% ROI, cost at 5,000, down pay 5,000. And she's offering it to Matthew. No, she's offering it to me. I'm passing it on. Do you want the 10 acres raw land for $200, Matthew?
Yeah.
Can sell for a decent amount in the market. Two dice, Matthew.
Hmm? Yeah.
Two dice. Two, Dad. Cash or credit card? Market card. House buyer. You're offered 90,000 for a 3-2 rental. I am selling. That's the one that I got that had the negative 100 cash flow. So yeah, quite happy to get rid of that one actually. And it meant that I now have an extra $44,000. But I can actually look at big deals now. Buyer offers 25,000 per unit for all units of combinations of duplex, fourplex, and eightplexes. Matthew, do you want to sell your eightplex? I think you've got. No, you've got a duplex. You paid 60,000 for it. I think that would be a bad thing to sell. Yeah, you don't want to sell that one.
So what?
Your duplex.
Hmm.
You big power. Broadcasting on that one.
Nicely done.
Market to market. See if I'd waited a little bit, but you never know when the market cards are going to change. So I could have gotten an extra 10,000 if I'd waited a bit longer, but I'm not that worried. You're up at 30,000. I still wouldn't take that, Matthew. Still keep that property. People seem to be landing on the market at the moment. Widget company buyer, engineer inventor who owns machinery company offers 50,000 cash for innovative methods of making widgets. Well, that one's got the widget company. I was right, it was a software company last time. Would you? It's David. Today's price is $40 a share. Trading range is 10 to 30. Fantastic time to sell. Not a good time to buy. Mm. Big deal, Matthew.
Yeah.
Shopping mall, $50,000 down payment, 800 cash flow. 19% ROI. May sell for 35 to 150,000.
Hmm?
The mall, 19% return on investment.
Yeah.
I would have bought that one too.
That's interesting. I would have been hesitant about getting that one. Yeah. Oh, the fourplex next to a highway for sale, owner occupant, moving to a quieter area. Price for quick sale. 90,000 is your cost. Down payment is 15,000. Cash flow is 500. I'm definitely going to take that one.
Job.
Rare gold coin. You spot an unusual 1500 Royal Spanish New World Havana mint only pieces of 8 gold coin in good condition at a spot meet. Only one seller asks $500. My key for you. Angela just sold her 4,800 shares that she got at $1 for $192. That is a good deal for her. I should have read that card, sorry. I'm going to go for a big deal. Automated business. Now, this is going to actually get me out of the rat race completely. So I am going to take that idea. A lot of times when I'm at this point, I will actually take out loans to increase my expenses.
What's the news?
I decided I didn't want to. I decided I have $2,500. Well, now I've got $3,000 passive income. That's going to be okay in the rat race, in the fast track. Now I'm in the fast track now. See if I can get up Robert's video on the fast track. If I can find it. Let me not be able to. Yeah, I think you can still have it. Now, pop over screen. Put it down. Let's have a
How
look.
does a person get out of the rat race and onto the fast track? And that's where this part of the game comes in, the income statement and balance sheet, also called the financial statement. As I said earlier, you learn two primary skills in this game. One of the skills to be an investor, and two, the general principles of accounting. So very early on in my life, my rich dad said you have to know the difference between assets and liabilities. Simply put, assets are investment items such as stocks, real estate, or businesses that put money into your pocket, whether you work or not. And liabilities are things that take money from your pocket, whether you work or not. The reason most people don't get out of the rat race is very simply because they're buying liabilities they think are assets, like a house. Most people think their house is an asset when it really is a liability. So the way you get out of the rat race in this board game cash flow is simply learning how to invest, taking your income, investing in either stocks, real estate, or businesses, and that income flows into your income column without you working. The moment you're at passive income, that is income without you working. Passive income is income that comes from your investments. Passive income is income coming from your assets is greater than your expenses. Once your passive income is greater than your expenses, bam, you're out of the rat race and you're onto the fast track. The moment your passive income is greater than your expenses, your financial intelligence has gone up. And that's the object of the game.
I have
So the
no idea what
question
I
is,
did click on. The clue. So let's go back to the game though, because I have gotten out of the rat race and into the fast track. Okay, for you, interest rates crippled share price. This long-time maker of medicine. Today's price $5 a share. Trading range is 5 to 40. Great time to buy. Although Frank still passed it up. Prices of gold soars in the Middle East. So gold skyrocketed. So 1 ounce crude ran and sell at $600 per ounce. I don't think anyone's got any crude ran. Matthew's turn. Matthew got paper.
Job.
Opportunity. On to your entertainment. New theme park loses record amount. Today's price is $10 a share. So I can win the game by increasing my cash flow day income to 50,000, or landing on my dreams. These are 2 ways that I win the game. Or somebody else can win the game. And it's a kid's birthday. Invite all the neighbourhood kids over for your house for a birthday party. Matthew's going to pay cash for that one. I'm going to buy the hairdressing salad.
Congratulations. That was a good deal.
Was a good deal. House for sale. Bridgeview housing with an in-ground pool and full appliances available in upper middle class area. Good school. Negative 6% ROI. Cost is $125,000. Down payment is $20,000 and the cash flow is $100,000. Wonder what he's going
Well, I'm
for.
going to go into the pros and cons of these 3 assets. As I said, in my opinion, just my opinion, to be an entrepreneur, to build a business takes massive, probably more emotional skills and people skills. So if you're very good with people, know how to sell, know how to raise capital, know how to go to the market, talk to employees, business is the one for you. But again, for me, it took 5, 10, 20 years of training to become a business owner. Second is real estate. Real estate has many advantages. The number one advantage of all is that of all the investment categories, it's the easiest one for the banker to give you money. You know, it's tough to get a loan for business sometimes, and I've never met a banker yet who would give me a 30-year, 5% loan for a mutual fund. But in real estate, it is advantages. I can use my banker's money. They're easy to finance. And the great thing about real estate, it's dumb. It doesn't move. So if you really know what you're doing with real estate, in my opinion, is the best one for the masses of people. The reason paper is such an attractive asset, again, is because it's so easy to get into. To make it very, for $50, you can buy one. It takes very little intelligence, very little maintenance. The problem with paper assets, again, is volatility. Markets go up, markets go down, and markets go sideways. And the problem with paper assets, for most people, they have no protection from the downside protection. Paper assets generally do well when the market goes up. They lose everything coming down. So reviewing again, the reason I like real estate is, number one is my banker will give me money for it. And number two, the tax laws are most favorable for real estate owners and business owners. So those are some of the basic differences between the three different types of assets. RichDad.com is committed to giving you the basic information so that you can do well in all three assets.
That is a very bad deal. I would not encourage buying that one. Parents selling 2-1 condo used by their child in College Town. Lots of demand for the rental. 42% ROI. Make cost is $40,000. Down pay $4,000. Cash flow is $140. It's a reasonable deal, that one. Good, goodies and downsides. Matthew's turn. Market. Frozen Pizza Limited Partner has been sold. So owners in the limited partnership agree to sell if and when their founder sells, as just happened. If you were an owner, you receive the cash and reduce your cash flow immediately. The bonus is, though, you actually made a reasonable amount of money on that one. So it only cost you $20,000, Matthew, but you just got $60,000. Which means you'll be able to invest in other deals. Teacher at Source 5 outlets get $8,000 per month cash flow with 48% cash on cash return for only $200,000 down, which this is one of the reasons why I occasionally a lot of times, I will actually borrow money to increase the amount of money I've got in the actual fast track, because I've only got $200,000 here. So I'm lucky that I actually had enough money to be able to do that deal.
Nicely done.
I'm now going to have to go past a few paydays before I can do any more investing. Spare time company, increase your sales significantly, increase your business income by $250 per month. This business income may not be sold or transferred. So that's part of your direct-to-you company. I actually have recently started a direct distribution company. Oh, not direct distribution company. I've affiliated with a direct distribution company that sells and produces a range of products that are free from potentially harmful ingredients. That the Sizzle H2 stick is one of the products, but they also have an amazing shampoo, which I am just so excited about. About a month ago, I went to my hairdresser and discovered that I had really bad psoriasis. I knew my scalp was really sore. I knew it was really itchy. I knew I had big chunks of scalp coming off all the time. It was really quite disgusting. But I didn't realize it was actually psoriasis. And I went to the hairdresser to get my hair cut and said, yeah, you've got psoriasis. So I changed brands and I changed over to a fairly well-known one from the health food shop. I won't use anything from the normal stores because they're just toxic. They've got some really bad ingredients in them. And it didn't really help my scalp much at all. And various things happened, and I ended up on the lookout for a new company to provide my personal care products because the one I was using actually closed overnight on me. And I went hunting and found Sizzle and changed over to their shampoo and conditioner, and within 2 weeks, my scalp has completely cleared up. I've got no more psoriasis left. And my hairdresser was actually even really surprised, which was quite exciting actually. Let's see if I can find a video for you. See if I can find it. It's on my channel, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. Right. So it's just a quick thought that my hairdresser did for me. And that's been saved. And that's the stain. If I can get it to play.
My hairdresser's getting my hair done, and I was going to get asked if she can tell you guys how much my scalp has improved.
I just watched my client's hair and it's definitely improved. Her scalp looks fabulous. She had heaps of psoriasis and I used her shampoo at the base of it and it was great.
Cool. And how did it feel on your hands?
It's really nice. It's like thick and leather.
Sweet. Thanks, Beck. I love it.
Sorry, the video's a little bit quiet.
Everyone, I'm just at my hairdresser's getting my hair done, and I just had Beck do my hair, and I was going to ask her if she can.
So yeah, so really quite excited about that actually. It's a really exciting thing to be happening because I've been having a lot of trouble with my scalp. So really, really excited, really happy with how it feels. They've also got a fantastic range of personal care products, and I was looking at treating the psoriasis from the inside as well because it is an autoimmune disease along with the Graves' disease. So I was using the nutritional products as well as the hair care, and I'm feeling so much better. I've got lots more energy. I think you can tell by me yawning tonight. I've got a lot more energy than I had and feeling heaps better. Anyway, let's get back to the game. Big deal or small deal, Matthew?
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah.
36% ROI for a duplex. Down pays 8,000. Cash flows 240.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Pizza franchise, 2 locations, get 7,000 per month cash flow with 37% cash on cash return for only 225. And I do have enough to be able to do that one. So
Congratulations. That was a good deal.
50,000. I've got to get to 350,000 as my cash flow daily income. 3-2 house, downsized manager must sell this 3-2 house, can't afford to make payments on the new salary, 40% ROI, down payment's 9,000, cash flow's 300. Spare time company Frank makes progresses and has now added $500 per month to his business income. Can't be sold or transferred. Now, what I might do, let's see, what Robert got to say in this one?
I'm often asked, why do I recommend network marketing, especially since I'm not in the network marketing business? And like many people, early on, I had a very negative or closed-minded attitude towards network marketing. But I've changed my mind. I've opened up the way that I think, and I've looked at the network marketing industry, and I find some things that are extremely beneficial, especially for people who are looking to make some changes from the E and the S over to the right side of the quadrant. One of the beauties of network marketing, it actually teaches the mental, emotional, and technical skills to be in the B quadrant. Because somebody in network marketing has the potential of building a system with over 500 people in it, plus unlimited income. The things that network marketing teaches you is the most important skill in the B quadrant is the ability to sell. One of the reasons I worked for the Xerox Corporation when I got out of the Marine Corps was to learn how to sell. My rich dad said, if you're going to be in the business quadrant and become big business, you must learn how to sell or communicate to employees, to specialists, to investors to raise capital, as well as to my customers. So communication or sales skills are essential for somebody in the B quadrant. And the network marketing industry, not all of them, but some of them have excellent training programs to teach you how to sell, how to communicate, how to build businesses. The other thing that's beautiful about the network marketing industry, it teaches you self-confidence. Because the reason many people are not good in the B quadrant is they're afraid of rejection. And network marketing teaches you to handle your own fears, overcome your fear of rejection, and build that self-confidence. And that's essential for the B quadrant. Also, it gives you time. In the real world, when I worked for Xerox as an employee for 4 years, if I didn't sell, I was fired. The beauty of network marketing industry is they'll work with you. You can take as much time as you like to develop those skills. As your skills increase, so does your income. Take 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. It takes time to develop those skills. And the network marketing industry gives you education and the time to build that self-confidence. Once you have your business up, the reason the cash flow game is so important, and you have all this excess money coming in your business, then you can invest your money into real estate and stocks and bonds, and that's what the cash flow game teaches you how to do, is how to be a successful, proficient investor, especially an investor on the fast track. The fast track is where the rich invest. So the beauty of network marketing, it works really hand in hand. It builds you up, teaches you how to increase your income, builds your self-confidence, and then the cash flow game teaches you how to invest. And that's why I recommend network marketing, and that's why I work hand in hand with so many of those businesses.
Okay. The company I'm working with, I've actually got a significant amount of training resources to be able to assist you in building a network marketing business or any direct selling business, really. And a lot of the resources and the personal development they do actually significantly helps in all areas of your life, not just in your business, but in your personal life, and as well as just increasing your resilience and giving you skills and tools to be able to manage when life gets difficult, as it does. So it's one of the things I absolutely really love about network marketing. But at the end of the game, I'm actually going to go through and play a video that's by a gentleman called Tim Sale. It's called Brilliant Compensation. It explains a little bit more about how network marketing works and why it's one of the fairest industries on the planet and why big companies don't want you to know about it and why they want you to think it's a scam when a pyramid scheme is illegal. Network marketing is not a pyramid scheme. But I'll let Tim explain all of that because he's very successful in business. One of the things I really love about it is that having multiple disabilities and illnesses makes it very difficult for me to be able to get work, as well as my care and responsibility for my children and my mum. And network marketing gives me an opportunity to actually be able to do things in my spare time and work around my care and responsibilities and my illnesses. So if I'm having a day where I'm just not feeling well with the Graves' disease, then I don't have to work. No one's sitting there going, you need to make more sales. They're just not doing that. And if I want to earn more money, I can just talk to more people. In business for myself, but not by myself, which is really exciting. And I didn't have to invest tens of thousands of dollars in it either. I just talk to people. And I've met some really interesting people. And not to mention that, Matthew, you want a big deal or a small deal?
Mm.
I've also found that using the nutritional, the 12-unit apartment house offered, 57% ROI, down payment $50,000, cash flow is $2,400. You want that one, Matthew?
Mm.
Yeah. Technology is not entirely being. Oh, I keep moving. Maybe I'm moving the mouse too far. My mouse is being a bit funny tonight. Let's see if I can do it better with the touchpad. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes the wireless mouse doesn't work so well. I might need to change the battery. Not buying any green. Don't have that much spare money floating around. Buyer offers $25,000 per unit for all units in a combination of duplex, fourplex, and eightplex, which is different from what Matthew just bought, although he does have some plexes. He's got 2 duplexes, so he's been offered $25,000, and he's only duplexes, so it'd only be $50,000 that you'd be getting paid. So I would be keeping all of those, Matthew. You're not going to actually make any money selling those at $25,000 per unit. School reunion. Be dad. Buyer offers $30,000 per unit. Do you want to sell them, Matthew? You'd make a little bit, but not a huge amount.
No. No. Wait.
So $54,000 for one and $42,000 for the other. You're getting offered $30,000. So you'd be offering $60,000 for each of them. So you'd make $6,000 on one and maybe $18,000 on the other.
No.
Keeping him? I mean, he's got $102,000 sitting there. His problem's not a lack of money. His problem's a lack of deals. It's a good deal. Yes, I'm going to do 3 dice. Pizza franchise, healthy pizza company franchise. Trends in nutritious fast food booming next to a college high traffic, 60% ROI. May sell for $520,000 to $800,000. Cost is $500,000. Down payment $100,000. Cash flow is $5,000. And Angela has just gotten out of the rat race. but she's joining me in the fast track. Okay, for you drug company, today's price is $10, trading range 5 to 40. Smash your turn. Come on, get a good opportunity card. Yeah, see if we can get a really good one. Big deal or small deal? 30% ROI, down pays 20,000, cash flows 500. Tragic. You want that one? And now, really doesn't like this at the moment. Use the tuck pad. Oh, Matthew's got 4,000 in bank loans he can pay off. That's right, that's back from the beginning of the game. Doesn't make a huge difference, but oh, my battery's getting low. I think I'm going to have to end the game for tonight. We might play again. We might continue this next week. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the game. I'm not going to actually end the game. I'm going to save the game, and we can continue it next week. Pretty low on that one. So, yeah, I said I was going to play the Tim Sales video from the compensation. So let's have a listen to Tim Sales. Hopefully it's loud enough.
Hello, my name is Tim Sales. I'd like to first say that you're not going to see glitz here, so please don't expect it. I'm not an entertainer nor an actor. This video is a tool designed to educate people about a business concept that works for people who are willing to put 100% of themselves into something. See, it takes 200% to be successful in business. 100% must come from you. 100% must come from the business vehicle that you've chosen. Business vehicle meaning how you earn your living, how you support your family. I've seen people who relentlessly pour 100% of themselves into a business vehicle, profession, or job, but that vehicle doesn't have the capability to give back 100%. The mechanics of wealth are just not there. But no one has ever fully explained to you why it doesn't work and why it's a waste of your valuable time if your goal is financial success. This video is for the person who is willing to put in their 100%. They're only lacking the right business vehicle, the explanation of why it's right, and the evidence that it does in fact work. Even though I say you must put in 100%, that doesn't mean that you have to work it full time. I didn't. That doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your family time, nor does it mean you have to have prior experience. I didn't. What you'll learn right here has allowed me to build a $25 million company. Now, a $25 million company has certainly been done before. However, this was done where no employees were required, no accounts receivable, no accounts payable, no overhead, and very little inventory. Recently, I said those words to a business owner who said back to me, "Sounds too good to be true." My response back to him was, "Is that a good enough reason to stop looking?" He paused for a couple of seconds and he said, "That wouldn't be very smart, would it?" What I suggest you do is not just watch this information, but study it. What I want to do first is create an equal playing field between people who know how to evaluate a business and those who don't. Because me explaining this business wouldn't be very effective until you understand how to place value to a business. The simplest thing for someone to do when they don't understand something is to go, it doesn't work. The way I'll accomplish this equal playing field is to give you 4 main principles to look for in a business. Number 1 is a huge expanding market. If you were the best vinyl record producer in the world, would it matter today? No, it doesn't matter how good you are in an industry that's eroding. Number 2 is a unique and consumable product. I'll cover unique first. If you don't have a unique product, then you compete on price and convenience. Who has the best price? Who's closest to the customer? Yet if you have uniqueness, then people must come to you. Next is consumable. If you have a non-consumable product, you're basically unemployed until your next sell. You want the repeat sales of consumable products. Whether it's every time someone picks up the telephone, connects to the internet, renews a membership, turns on the electricity, or gets to the bottom of a box or a bottle, you want those repeating commissions because it can pay you again and again. Number 3 is timing. Primarily here, I'm talking about trends and timing. During all cycles of the economy, there are people who are making money and losing money. The makers are the ones in front of large trends. The losers disregard trends. How do you get in front of large trends? You study what creates them. Without any hesitation, in today's society, it's the baby boom generation that creates the largest trends. The baby boomers are a group of babies born between 1946 and 1964. There were 76 million of them born in the United States, 1 billion of them worldwide. Why is this group so talked about? They're 1/3 of the U.S. population and control 65% of all the money. I've likened the magnitude of all those babies to a basketball moving through a garden hose. They reshape every industry they go through. See, if you can predict where this basketball is going down the garden hose, you possess the ability to make fortunes. I want to give you some historical examples of the obvious buying patterns of these boomers. It started with a company called Gerber back in 1940, who were barely known. But by 1955, just 10 years after the boomers were born, they had sold 1.8 billion jars of strained baby food. As the boomers took their first steps, it was Buster Brown and Kenny Shoes. When the boomers went out to play, Mattel and Hasbro got rich, providing toys to this young group. In 1957, we built more elementary schools in the U.S. in 1 year just to handle the overflow than we did in any 12-year period before or after. As the boomers went through their teens, Dairy Queen, McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken became billion-dollar companies feeding the boomers. When the boomers moved through their 20s and 30s, which was in the mid-70s, what was the industry to be in? Real estate. Why? Because the boomers had heard from their parents one time too many, as long as you're living under my roof, you'll do as I say. So they wanted their own roof, which created a 15-year real estate boom. And people are still talking today about the great time frame to be in real estate. Then what happened to the real estate market in the late 80s? It began its decline. Why? The basketball had moved through the real estate industry. Another example of this is the U.S. stock market. Several years ago, I heard a stock market analyst speaking on the radio saying that he just couldn't believe the stock market had a 15-year rise. Notice the number 15 years keeps coming up. Anyone with a good understanding of the baby boomers could have seen this coming and profited from the recent stock market activity. Why does this 15-year number keep coming up? Because the baby boomers were born between 1946 and 1964. And so 18 years separates the front edge from the back edge. A very important number for you. If you look for trends on the front side of the basketball, you get the full 18 years for your products to be popular. That's the reason you study the nose of the basketball. So your business, no matter what your business is to be looking at what industries are expanding or which industries are about to expand. You shouldn't care how long you've been doing something or how long you've been in school to learn something. Are you in front of trends or not? Don't have a loyalty to something just because you've been educated in it or doing it for a long time. So looking at the current trends, we basically got 1 billion people who are in their 50s and 60s. Since that's the case, what business do you want to be in? Let's look at some obvious current and future trends. Health and looking younger are going to be tremendous trends. The boomers do not like what aging is doing to them. So products that fend off aging as well as vanity issues will continue to boom. Businesses that focus on retirement issues will do very well. The crux of it will start with the boomers having enough money to retire. Businesses that offer ways to make money will obviously flourish. Legal matters such as wills and estate planning will become large trends. Efficiencies will also grow. The television was too far away from the couch for the boomers, so they invented the remote control device. Today, they have their entire library of books and music in their cell phones. The boomers have always been enamored with technologies that make life easier. These technologies will actually create industries. For example, the computer created the need for antivirus software. The internet has created a need for identity theft protection and firewalls. But there will be many additional industries created by the computer and internet technologies. It is the computer plus the internet that made the iPod, iPad, and iPhone possible. As a side note, the baby boomers are not the only trendsetters. They are just the largest and have most of the money. As the world becomes one, the international market will play a big role, as well as the group born just after the baby boomers that are known as Generation X. But remember, the boomers control 65% of all the money. So when a bright Generation X person creates a great new product or service, they must make it simple enough that a baby boomer can understand it. Otherwise, that product will not reach mass acceptance. Those are some of the big trends. So if you want to be brilliantly compensated, you must focus on industries and companies that have positioned themselves in front of these trends. All right, let's move forward. Number 4 is leverage. I'm going to spend some time on this one because we're not really taught this in our society. We're taught to go get a good education, build a resume, and exchange our expertise for someone's dollars. The problem with that is if we're not exchanging our expertise, we're not making any dollars. So vacation time is costly. A walk around the golf course, costly. Family time, although extremely important, is costly. I'll define the word leverage as an increased means by which to attain something. One form of leverage is investing $5 million and earning 10% interest, which will yield you about 41 grand a month in income. So whether you're enjoying family time or playing golf or vacationing, you're still enjoying 41 grand a month in income. You're leveraging off your money. That's a leverage everyone would love, but very few have it. Let me explain another kind of leverage that's available to everyone, including yourself. Incidentally, if you get nothing more out of this video than a better understanding of this little simple concept I'm going to explain, you'll have gained something very valuable for watching it. Imagine, if you will, you own a company. You employ just one person, me. I work for 8 hours on Monday. You work for the same 8 hours on Monday that I do. Now listen closely. You get paid on 16 hours worth of work because you take a portion of my productivity as income back to yourself. You're leveraging off my efforts because I'm your employee. So theoretically, the more employees you have working for you, the more leverage you have. However, have you ever had employees? If you have, you know that in theory, hiring employees sounds great, but it's very difficult to reach leverage through employees. I've heard it said that if you have one employee, you have one headache. If you have 100 employees, you run an adult daycare center. And the reason being is this: no employee will ever work as hard for your company as you will because they don't own it. Here's my rule of thumb for reaching true leverage. If there's one sentence that epitomizes the entire video, it would be this: to have true leverage, you must create a situation where everyone has the same amount to gain. Only then do you have true leverage. Let me give you an example of this type of leverage. Let's say that I'm a real estate broker and I hire an agent named Robert. Robert goes out and sells a building. Robert earns a percentage of the selling price of the building, and so do I, the broker. Why do I, the broker, earn a percentage when it was Robert who sold the building? Well, I did some of the advertising. I trained Robert. I had the initiative to go get my broker's license in the first place. I put up the risk. I did a lot of things. And so it's valid that I, as the broker, earn my money. But Robert doesn't work for me as an employee. He's an independent contractor. He just hangs his real estate license on my wall. My point here is the broker and the agent have the same amount to gain from the sale of the home. It is totally in the agent's interest to earn more money, which is a form of leverage for the broker. There is a flaw in this leverage situation that I've shown you, and it's this: the broker can have multiple agents, but the agents cannot. The broker has leverage. The agents don't. Until the agents do what most brokers dread. What happens when I, the broker, have been real effective at teaching Robert to be a good agent? What's Robert going to want to do in a couple of years? Be his own broker, right? Is this good for me, the broker? No, because as soon as he becomes a broker, two bad things happen to me. Number one, he breaks away from me and I lose him as an income source. And two, worse than that, he's now my competitor that I trained. He knows all my good stuff. By the way, this doesn't just happen in the real estate industry. It happens in practically every industry. Have you ever heard the expression, I'm just going to work there for experience? What does that mean? It means I'm going to strip them of their knowledge and then go do it myself. If you're a business owner, how many people have you trained who are no longer working for you? How many people have you trained to be your competitors? Well, this gets worse. Let's say that Robert is now a broker right down the street. What will he do now that he's a broker? He'll go out and hire his own agents. And let's say one of those agents is Linda. Linda also eventually wants to be a broker. So she becomes a competitor to me that I indirectly trained, as well as Robert, who I directly trained. And this continues on and on. I actually created a chain of competitors that I trained. What if we did a whole paradigm shift? Here's where this becomes brilliant. Let's say instead I'm going to empower Robert to become a broker. I want him to become a broker from day one. See, the only way that you or I can retain a leader is provide him or her with the same opportunity for growth that we have. Hence, an opportunity where everyone has the same amount to gain. So from day one, I'm going to encourage Robert to be a broker. And when he does, he doesn't break away from me and become my competitor. He shifts from agent to broker, which now allows him to sponsor his own agents. Now, to create an incentive for me, the broker, to always help Robert and his agents, I'm still going to earn a percentage of what he and his agents sell. And shouldn't I? I trained him. I put up the risk and all those reasons I mentioned earlier. Now, the percentage I earn from Robert and his organization should be a lot smaller than when he was an agent, but I should still earn a percentage. That's my incentive to keep working with them. Now, some people look at this and say, gosh, isn't that one of those pyramids? And what's the perception of a pyramid? People at the top making all the money and the people down below do all the work, right? Isn't that the perception of a pyramid? Let me explain why this is not a pyramid and why people at the top don't necessarily make all the money. Let me just make a quick point before I discuss the pyramid issue. It's not the geometric shape that people have a problem with. This geometric shape is probably the shape of your family tree, the shape of our government. To the architect, it's the strongest structure known to man. Every organizational structure in the world is this shape. So the shape isn't the problem. However, that perception, people at the top earn all the money, let me illustrate that for you. Here's a typical corporation. At the top, you have a CEO, which stands for Chief Executive Officer. Does the president earn more money than the CEO? Not normally. How about below the president? Do any of the vice presidents earn more money than the president? No. Let me ask this question, and I want you to really think about it. What would happen if some of the vice presidents of a corporation made more money than the president? Really, what would happen? Talk about total confusion. This whole process is called delegation. Each level of the corporation earns less income. The reason the president can tell the vice president what to do is because they make more money. So the corporate structure is people at the top making the majority of the money, and the people at the bottom do not. The CEO of any corporation earns off the productivity of, or is leveraged off of, everyone in his or her corporation. Whether that CEO personally hired every employee or someone else in the company hires them. So the CEO, and only the CEO, earns on multiple levels of his or her company. And the model that I'm suggesting as being brilliant is where you, the individual, are given that same opportunity to earn on multiple levels of brokers and agents, just as the CEO of a corporation is. From here on, I'll refer to this form of marketing as network marketing. In network marketing, you, the individual, are given the opportunity to earn off the productivity of the people in your organization. whether you personally sponsor them or someone in your organization sponsors them. Remember that I said to reach true leverage, you must create a situation where everyone has the same amount to gain. Well, that's what I just described. Here's what makes the network marketing structure the absolute fairest structure available. In most network marketing companies, everyone can earn a certain number of levels deep of the organization they build. Everyone in the company can earn that same number of levels deep, like maybe 4 levels deep or 6 levels deep. Let's say we use 4 levels. So if you build an organization to be more productive, then you would earn more money than I would, even if you were in my organization. In the example shown, you would earn on 3 levels I couldn't reach, because everyone gets the same number of levels. There are people in my organization right now that earn more money than I do. Do you know what I call that? Fair. Shouldn't it be that way? I mean, take any structure. Shouldn't the most productive person in that structure make the most money? Now I'd like to show you an interview that I did a few years ago with Dr. Charles King, who holds a PhD from Harvard and is a professor of marketing at the University of Illinois at Chicago, who actually teaches network marketing at the university. Dr. King, we're delighted to have you here.
I'm pleased to be here, Tim.
Dr. King, could you tell us a little of your education and your business background?
Tim, I'm a professor of marketing at the University of Illinois at Chicago. I got my bachelor's and master's degrees from the University of Texas in Austin, spent a tour of duty with the Exxon Corporation, and then returned to get my doctorate in business administration from Harvard University. More important to this discussion, over the last 6 years, I've been involved in doing research, teaching, and consulting in network marketing.
So coming from such a conservative school, and I know you a little bit, and I know you to be very conservative, what caused you to look at network marketing to begin with?
In 1990, we had a major economic recession in the United States. The Midwest and Chicago particularly were very badly hit. As a result, the interviewers stopped coming to campus. We were graduating hundreds of students a semester, and they weren't getting jobs. Our alumni were coming back to us, losing their jobs, looking for help, and we had nothing to offer them. Now, I started looking, because of my background in business consulting, at alternative career paths. I went out and I looked at starting your own business, at home-based businesses. I looked at franchising. I looked at direct selling. And in the direct selling arena, I backed into network marketing. Now, I was very cynical, skeptical. Tim, I was negative about network marketing. They don't teach network marketing at the Harvard Business School, and I didn't know much about it. The end result was one of my students who was on the team asked me, "Why are you so negative about network marketing?" I looked at that young man and I said, "Son, I know enough to know I don't want to know anymore." That student looked at me and he said, "Professor, if I gave you that answer to that question with no more information than you have, you would give me an F." I turned to him and I said, "Son, you're absolutely right. I have no basis for that conclusion. You just made an A." As a result, we went to the library, we went to meetings, and for the next 6 months, we did due diligence on the network marketing industry. I visited the top companies. I talked to network marketing leaders. I became an evangelist. In 1990-91, we started teaching network marketing in the marketing curriculum at the university.
Suppose you run across the super skeptic. What advice do you have for them?
Tim, I would recommend they do precisely what I did. I was a super skeptic. I did my due diligence. I investigated the industry, and I drew my own conclusions. I strongly recommend that you do your due diligence and then begin to define precisely what role you want to play in the network marketing industry. Set realistic expectations. If there's a single cause for failure in this industry, it's the get-rich-quick syndrome, thinking that you can come into the industry and make enormous sums of money with no work. I argue, by contrast, that if you set realistic expectations, you develop a plan of action to guide your business development, you can be successful.
And that's coming from a Harvard Business School graduate who was a true skeptic, but through due diligence, he learned the truth. Warren Buffett owns a network marketing company. If you don't know who he is, he's typically listed in the top 5 richest people in the world. He created his wealth by investing in and buying the highest quality companies. Why do you think Microsoft or AT&T, Gillette, Colgate, Citibank, IBM, Toyota, Xerox, Texas Instruments, General Motors, General Electric, AOL, Oracle, Sun Microsystems, Coca-Cola, and many others distribute some or all of their products and services through network marketing. They use this method to distribute products because network marketing is a very efficient model to distribute products and services. These large corporations are firm testimony to the industry's success and credibility. This confirms what Professor King was saying about that the industry has come of age and is now a true profession. The reason so many people are coming into network marketing is because people want control of their life. They want a quality of life, and network marketing truly offers that. I hear people all the time complaining that they are too busy or don't have enough time. People act as though time owns them instead of them owning time. Have you ever noticed that there are people who, with 24 hours, earn $10,000 a year? And there are people in the same 24 hours who earn $10 million a year? Let me explain the difference. I've heard people say this phrase, "It's easier to just do it myself than try to get other people to do it." Whenever I hear that phrase, I know that person just nailed their feet to the floor. All they can do is expend their time, not invest their time. Here's a secret. Wealth is hidden from those who must do it all themselves. Wealth exposes itself to those patient enough to train others. When you understand the power of educating and empowering others so that you get more done, you're truly on your way to wealth. Now, with that understanding of the importance of training others so you get more done, look at network marketing and you'll see why I call it brilliant compensation. In network marketing, what you teach and train others to do is duplicate what you do, which is to find and train others. This is actually multiplying you. That's why I say next to your spiritual growth and your family, there is nothing in the world you can do that will reward you better than investing your time in network marketing. I'd like to cover one last thing in closing, which I feel is one of the most important points for you to fully understand the value of network marketing. Let me illustrate something to you that is so profound. What's the maximum number of hours you could work in a day? 24 hours, right? So if you didn't sleep all day, you could work 24 straight hours. What if you didn't sleep for a whole year? You could actually work 8,760 hours in 1 year. But that's the maximum number of hours you could work in a year. I have 56,000 people in my organization worldwide. Well, let's suppose that all 56,000 people work just 1 hour out of a year. 56,000 people times 1 hour each equals 56,000 hours of work that I'm being paid on. Well, for most people to earn on 56,000 hours of work, they'd have to work for over 6 years, 24 hours a day without sleep to put in the same amount of hours that I could in 1 hour a year. Let me throw in something really ridiculous. Suppose all my 56,000 people worked 1 8-hour day in a year. 56,000 people times 8 hours is 448,000 hours I'm being paid on. Well, it would take most people working over 51 years, 24 hours a day to do what I could do in 8 hours a year. 8 hours in 1 year versus 51 years working 24 hours a day. Doesn't seem fair, does it? It's definitely not fair. What's not fair is that you haven't understood this until today and other people have. But now that you understand it, take responsibility for it. Don't go running and try to create reasons why you can't do this. You can do this. I don't say any of this to impress you. I don't need to impress you. This is an educational only video. My purpose in creating this tool is to contribute back to that woodpile that so generously gave to me. Because network marketing has given me a lifestyle I previously couldn't have imagined. And because network marketing has given me total financial and time freedom, I feel it my responsibility to explain the industry in an understandable way. So I say all of this only to impress upon you that the difference between the wealthy and everyone else is leverage. You've got to understand that. And nothing gives you, the individual, leverage in such an ethical way like network marketing can. So go get a pad of paper, write down what you really want in life. Then call the person who gave you this video and tell them whether you're an A, B, or C. C is see you later. No thanks. That's fine with us because your relationship with the person who gave you this video is more important to us than anything. Or you're a B. A B is I may be. I want to first explore the product. If that's you, then do that. Don't procrastinate. The number one killer of financial success is procrastination. People just putting it off until tomorrow, and they've somehow convinced themselves that they'll actually do it tomorrow. You know what I'm talking about. As soon as I'm done with this project, then I'll have more time. Or as soon as little Jimmy gets back to school, then I can, and they never do. If a person has an excuse, they have all they need to fail. Don't let that be you. Get your product today. Or you're an A, and that means absolutely. No, you don't have all your questions answered, but you see enough to start and begin your training. Very well done to you in your ability to make a decision. If it's late at night and you just watch this, don't be concerned that the person who gave this to you is sleeping right now. They'll be up. And if they're not, wake them up. Tell them, hey, now that I understand this thing, I can't sleep. And if I can't sleep, you're not going to sleep. Believe me, they'll appreciate that call. So call that person and tell them whether you're an A, B, or C. That's it. Join us. You'll be glad you did. Now is the right time, the smart time. Thank you for taking the time to view this video. I hope it's been educational to you. What I really hope is that you'll put this information to good use. Next, you'll see some common questions that you can interact with. I look forward to working with you should our paths cross. I'm Tim Sales.
So that's Tim Sales and the Brilliant Compensation Plan. It's a fantastic video, and if you did miss it, I highly encourage you to actually go to Tim Sales' YouTube channel and have a watch of the video. It's absolutely fantastic, and it really helps you to understand how business works and how the network marketing system works and why it is the fairest thing that is actually available, because everybody comes in and starts at the exact same spot, and the person that does the most work is the person that actually gets paid the most amount of money. I can't think of too many other industries where that happens. As YouTube creators, we have the ability to get leverage as well by the videos that we make. The videos that I made 5 years ago, people are still watching. So I'm still getting paid for that time that I put into then. And having a YouTube channel, if you've got a skill or a ability to be able to share information, is fantastic. But it takes a long time, and it takes learning how it works, and it takes finding things that people want to watch and making videos and then promoting the videos and then hoping the algorithm does its thing. And building that community, making sure that you engage with your followers, make sure that you find out what they want and provide them what they want, if that's what your focus is. Pop this back to the beginning of the video. Not that that really matters. I'm not even sure why I bothered to do that, really. Just all it's doing is scrolling.
First, say that you're not going to see glitz here, so please.
See it. Could have at least stopped it so that his eyes were open. So yeah, and one of the things I'm doing with these Cashflow board game evenings is giving people an opportunity to learn what the rich teach their kids about money, which is what Robert Kiyosaki was all about with the board game in the first place. And the whole reason why he made it was so that people could learn how business works and how to get out of the rat race and how to actually improve your life. And yeah, I'm not sure. I've lost it. I forgot what I was thinking. Let's watch a quick video by Robert Kiyosaki on starting a part-time business.
One more secret to how people get rich. Many people keep their daytime jobs and start a part-time business.
Mm-hmm.
That's what network marketing does. but you can also start a part-time franchise, or people like Henry Ford started a part-time business in his garage, which became Ford Motor Company. Michael Dell started Dell Computers in his dorm room, and other people have started their businesses on a kitchen table. So one of the ways the rich get rich is, or recommend getting rich, is keep your daytime job and start your part-time business. As I also said earlier, the tax laws are different for each of these quadrants. When you're in the B quadrant, you have the best tax advantages of the rich. So keep your daytime job, start a part-time business, gain the best tax advantages available to any of the quadrants, and then invest your money. That's how the rich get richer. So the question is, how does a person get out of the rat?
Okay, so what else have we got here? So what's Robert have to say about network marketing? We did watch this during the game, I think, but
I'm often asked, why do I recommend network marketing, especially since I'm not in the network marketing business? And like many people, early on, I had a very negative or closed-minded attitude towards network marketing. But I've changed my mind. I've opened up the way that I think, and I've looked at the network marketing industry, and I find some things that are extremely beneficial, especially for people who are looking to make some changes from the E and the S over to the right side of the quadrant. One of the beauties of network marketing, it actually teaches the mental, emotional, and technical skills to be in the B quadrant. Because somebody in network marketing has the potential of building a system with over 500 people in it, plus unlimited income. The things that network marketing teaches you is the most important skill in the B quadrant is the ability to sell. One of the reasons I worked for the Xerox Corporation when I got out of the Marine Corps was to learn how to sell. My rich dad said, if you're going to be in the business quadrant and become a big business, you must learn how to sell or communicate to employees, to specialists, to investors to raise capital, as well as to my customers. So communication or sales skills are essential for somebody in the B quadrant. And the network marketing industry, not all of them, but some of them have excellent training programs to teach you how to sell, how to communicate, how to build businesses. The other thing that's beautiful about the network marketing
oops, sorry, my internet's gone a bit funny.
industry, it teaches you self-confidence. There's a reason many people are not going to the B quadrant is they're afraid of rejection. And network marketing teaches you to handle your own fears, overcome your fear of rejection, and build that self-confidence. And that's essential for the B quadrant. Also, it gives you time. In the real world, when I worked for Xerox as an employee for 4 years, if I didn't sell, I was fired. The beauty of network marketing industry is they'll work with you. You can take as much time as you like to develop those skills. As your skills increase, so does your income. Take 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. It takes time to develop those skills. The network marketing industry gives you the education and the time to build that self-confidence. Once you have your business up, the reason the cash flow game is so important, and you have all this excess money coming from your business, then you can invest your money into real estate and stocks and bonds. And that's what the cash flow game teaches you how to do, is how to be a successful and proficient investor, especially an investor on the fast track. The fast track is where the rich invest. So the beauty of network marketing, it works really hand in hand. It builds you up, teaches you how to increase your income, builds your self-confidence. And then the cash flow game teaches you how to invest. And that's why I recommend network marketing, and that's why I work hand in hand with so many of those businesses.
It's another one.
Early on in my life, I had to make a decision not to follow my poor dad's footsteps and do what he did, which was get a safe, secure job, even though it was high paying with the government. Instead, I decided to follow my rich dad's footsteps and go into the B quadrant. Now, most of us know the failure rate is fairly high in the B quadrant. I think the stats say 9 out of 10 businesses fail in the first 5 years. And that was true for me. So I recommend this. You may want to keep your daytime job and start a part-time business, like a network marketing company. The entry point financially is very low, less than $500. Or you can buy a franchise, and a franchise will give you the system to be a business owner. Or you can do what I did and just do it trial and error. If you do it trial and error, I recommend this. Give yourself at least 5 years in the B quadrant, because it takes some time to learn the mental, emotional, and technical skills be a successful business owner. I meet many people who say, well, you know, what if I fail? I'll just tell you my point of view. In the B quadrant, since the chances are you're going to fail 9 out of 10 times, I just made a decision that I was going to start 10 different companies. So it really does get with a context or a mindset or an attitude at which you take this on. I have failed many times, and many businesses failed in the B quadrant, but I've always learned something new. And today, for me, the B quadrant is the only place I would like to be in. I'd like to discuss the importance of charity. Charity was very important to my rich dad. My poor dad always said, I'll give money when I have money. And what my rich dad said, the reason your dad doesn't have money is because he doesn't give. In other words, my rich dad believed in the law of reciprocity. You can call it, Newton's law, give and you shall receive, or for every action, equal and opposite reaction. Or the Asians say karma, give what you want. So my rich dad explained to me, if you wanted a smile, the best way to get a smile is to first give one. He also said if you wanted a punch in the mouth, the best way is to give one first also. So he said, if you want money, give money. Today, I hear many people saying, well, I don't give money, I give my time. The problem with that thinking is you get back what you give. If you give time, you get back time. So charity is very important if you want to get rich and get on to the fast track. You need to give what you want. If you want money, you need to give money. You need to first give, and then you can receive. That's why charity was so important to my rich dad. Charity was a very important part of my rich dad's financial and business plans. I now want to go into a subject that's near and dear to many people's hearts, and that's the subject of debt or borrowing money from the bank. I hear many people say, cut up your credit cards and get out of debt. And I would say for probably 90% of the population, that's very good advice, simply because most people, since we're not taught much about money or accounting or investing at school, that's good advice. But if you're going to become rich, you must know the difference between good debt and bad debt, or how to use your banker's money or other people's money to become rich. So a successful, financially successful person knows how to use debt to get rich, where most people use debt to get poor. When you look down at a financial statement, it's very simple to see here. There's assets and liabilities. What most people are doing is they're borrowing money either for expenses or they're borrowing money for liabilities. That's bad debt. If you want to become rich, you need to borrow money to buy assets. Assets are, in other words, you're borrowing money or going into debt to get rich. Most people are trying to pay off debt, which is a good move, like I said, because they borrowed money for expenses and for liabilities. In this board game, you will find the interest rate is 120%. Now, most people say, well, that's too high, or that's usury, and it is. But the reason we made the interest rate so high in this board game cash flow is to demonstrate to you that if you know how to invest, you can borrow money at a high interest rate and still make money. That is the lesson of this game, and that's how you use debt. There's good debt and bad debt. The choice is up to you which one you use. The higher your financial intelligence, the more good debt you can use, and get out of this rat race and get on with your dream. I want to talk.
Okay, so that's about it for tonight. I hope you found it interesting and helpful. And in future videos, I will be going through some other details. One of the things I've also found recently is a brokerage company called Moomoo, where you can actually implement some of the things that we learn in playing cash flow, in buying in the stocks and trading in the Australian stock market, the American stock market, and all over the place. So you can do options, ETFs, and stocks. Now, Cashflow 202 actually goes into options trading and more technical trading side of things. Let's see if I can find Robert's video introducing Cashflow 202.
What is the difference between Cashflow 101 and Cashflow 202? Using this diagram, I can very easily explain it. As explained before, as we most of us know, markets go in three trends: up, down, sideways, bull market, bear market, channeling market. So between 1990 and the year 2000 was the great bull markets in history. So Cashflow 101 is designed for a bull market. Cashflow 101, if you go bankrupt in Cashflow 101, you've done something really stupid because it's almost impossible. Cashflow 101 is designed for an easy, upgoing market with no problems. That is called a fundamental investor. And they're 202 is different. 202 is designed to take in 3 types of trends. So 202 will teach you how to make money in an up market, down market, and a sideways market. So 202 is the advanced version of Cashflow 101. I highly recommend you playing Cashflow 101 10, 20 times before taking on 202, because you have to have good fundamentals before you take on 202, which are for technical traders. So if you want to be a professional investor or a sophisticated investor in the real world of investing, you need to have good fundamentals and good technical skills. 101 gives you the good fundamentals, 202 the great technicals. And that's the difference between those two games. At this time, we have the electronic version of 101, and sometime in the future, we will have the electronic version of 202. Thank you very much.
Which I do actually have the Cashflow version, the 202 version in digital format as well. This video was actually made back when Cashflow 101 was originally made. So it's a fairly old video, but the content is still the same. The content is still accurate. So yeah, I hope you found tonight fun and educational. And we'll catch you next Monday. Same time, same place. Bless you. Have a great night.